Police Chief Asano is berated for not catching Lupin yet, and loses his temper as a result. For this he loses his job, and tells Zenigata to continue the fight in his stead. Meanwhile, the gang are watching a kabuki play of Chushingura, but Lupin grows tired of it. In the lobby, he meets an old man named Kira, and they hit it off due to neither being fans of Chushingura. Later, Kira tells Lupin of a treasure he needs stealing from his old mansion. Also he's levitating and likely a ghost, as Fujiko notes. Suspicions aside, Goemon leads them to the Honjo district, and they learn that Kira's home is now a police station. They also run out of fuel and land in the river, picked up by a boat. The boatman listens in on their plans, and it's revealed he's a member of the police as part of a meeting Zenigata is holding. He introduces himself as Hayano, admitting he's in this for the money, while another officer, Toribi, reveals he joined to kill people. You may have seen this as a reaction image before. Toribi decides to take a group with him, while Hayano is more willing to work directly with Zenigata. Meanwhile, Lupin decides to decline taking the heist on due to no down payment. Kira appears out of thin air to give a family ring to him. Lupin laughs off and he claims that Kira's a ghost, even from Kira himself, however. Toribi approaches and launches an attack on the gang. Lupin decides to try a white flag, but it ends up shot. A watching Zenigata has to be reassured that Lupin will escape this. Sure enough, Toribi and his team are hit by knockout gas as they board Lupin's ship. The gang infiltrate Honjo police station disguised as Toribi and some members of his team. Zenigata and Hayano overhear them planning to start a fire. To be more specific, they set up smoke bombs around the building that night. Midnight hits and the police are sent into a panic. Zenigata decides to get into character as Oishi Kuranosuke, inspired by the Chushingura, and rallies the police together. Lupin finds a small box underground, but the gang decide to escape first and then verify. The smoke is cleared and they're surrounded. Kira appears to help, freaking Zenigata out. Hayano takes over, but Kira uses will-o-wisps to blow out their guns. Upon escaping, they open the box and discover it to be a set of false teeth. Kira thanks them as they're just what he needs. Lupin admits defeat, but still doesn't believe that Kira's a ghost even as he fades away. The gang decide to shrug it off and go swimming with the first use of Samba Temporada playing. Chushingura is a fictional depiction of the story of the 47 Ronin, who came together to avenge the death of their leader Asano Naganori. Very heavily adapted too, apparently. Fun episode overall, with some amusement from all sides. I have to laugh at the fact that Lupin considers ghosts to be the line of crazy things that don't exist too. Consider that over these two series we've had time travellers, geneticists, Oni, cyborgs, and that's just off the top of my head. A scientist named Messira develops a special kind of eyedrop that allows people to see through anything. The woman who funded it uses it in order to find the secrets of the painting known as the First Supper. Hidden inside is a map, but only half, the other half being in possession of Arsène Lupin. Later, Zenigata orders a taxi driver to head for a church no matter the cost. For once, his target isn't Lupin, and the gang notice a piece of paper he dropped. It's a love letter of all things, asking to meet at the church at 3 PM. The woman Zenigata is set to meet introduces herself as Norma, and proposes marriage to him on the condition that he arrests Lupin. To help out, she presents him with the eyedrops, which work a bit too well. Zenigata spots Lupin watching from a rooftop and opens fire. The gang escape to a bar, but Zenigata tracks them down easily. The chase continues past Fujiko and to the air. The gang fly their helicopter underwater and escape clinging to torpedoes. Zenigata continues following them thanks to the eyedrops, and as Norma predicts, they head to Arsene's old hideout. She also works her charm on Zenigata to try and get him to take what she needs. Goemon finds Fujiko hiding in a suit of armour. She catches everyone up on Messera, the First Supper and Norma. At that moment, Zenigata and Norma break into the base, so the gang escape via balloon. Lupin hijacks a train, planning to draw Zenigata to him. He is indeed on board, applying the eyedrops to his police force to help see through any disguises. Fujiko comes in and they're all too distracted by seeing through her disguise. Lupin cuts the lights and Fujiko takes the chance to pull a bait and switch on Norma. Zenigata grabs Lupin as he escapes from the next station, but this proves to just be a disguised victim. Fujiko's worried they'll be caught at the next station, but Lupin has a plan. Jigen and Goemon set a path of ice using liquid nitrogen from the track. They then cut a rail into it, allowing the train to divert with no evidence of derailment. Norma's not pleased and the gang now has both parts of the map. The treasure is found in an old house in Israel, suspected to be the birthplace of Jesus. Said treasure ends up being his feeding bottle from when he was a baby. As Lupin takes advantage of the eye drops, the First Supper is revealed to be of Jesus as a baby. Fujiko certainly got a big info dump of lines to catch everyone up, probably the most she's talked in one sequence. Makes sense though, as I've said before, she's the one who gets a lot of the info for the gang's heists. We've also got another continuation of Zenigata's running gag, namely that the women who have an interest in him complain that he's too formal and they just want him to call them by a first name. Actually not a bad twist on the treasure's connection to the painting's name too, given that the audience would likely think it's just a silly name based on an actual piece of art. Much as the gang complain, I'm pretty sure even a feeding bottle could be considered a valuable artefact of Jesus too, and probably worth more than they think. Our target this episode is the Mona Lisa. It's been announced that it'll be going on a world tour with Zenigata keeping watch over it. After some trickery with disguises, the manager hands the painting over for its first stop. Lupin watches this unfold, his aim being to steal the painting where his grandfather failed. The first stop for the Mona Lisa is the Oriental Museum. Zenigata tests out the museum's security system, and while he falls, he's pleased with the result. Not only does it require stepping in the right places, but those places will also reset every half hour. The guards are alerted to a strange looking balloon. Hearing Lupin's voice, Zenigata tries to climb it. He ends up causing a puncture and spraying knockout gas everywhere as a result, though he's right about the gang being on board. Goemon stays behind to handle the guards that escape the gas, and Lupin heads to the gallery where the Mona Lisa is on display. With Jigen's help, he navigates to the safe areas. Zenigata is woken up as Lupin reaches the painting. Worse still, the half-hour time limit is hit. Lupin chances it and makes it over the trapdoor, but security is on high alert. Zenigata's still groggy though, which allows the gang to escape the museum. Back at the hideout, Lupin admires the painting but notices something. Taking a closer look, he realises it's a fake, figuring the real one likely never left the Louvre. Zenigata awkwardly returns the case containing the Mona Lisa, but the manager remains calm. Heading back to the Louvre, Lupin approaches him and calls him out on the fake. The manager simply laughs to himself, mentioning that Arsène stole his fair share of fake Mona Lisas in his time. Demanding the real one, Lupin is led to a room filled with Mona Lisas. The manager tells him he painted the fakes, and the real one is Lupin's if he can find it and if it's even still here. Zenigata bursts out as Lupin searches, determined to arrest him. Evading him, Lupin returns empty-handed. When the others ask why, he takes them to the Louvre and shows them the many Mona Lisa fakes. The gang realise there's no value in stealing it now, and Lupin congratulates the manager on his fakes, assuring him they're all real in his eyes. Fairly standard heist episode for the most part, but not a bad one. Nice to see Lupin taking on a family goal where his grandfather failed, and also acknowledging defeat when he sees why he failed. This also won't be the last time we see him take on the challenge of stealing the Mona Lisa though, even if that's still a while off yet. The new year is being rung in, and Goemon has info on the gang's latest target, the golden ship of Horai. Said to have brought great fortune to an army, it's currently on display in a temple in Kyoto. Zenigata is of course on security detail, though he's not too pleased that the other security are from the Mafia. Their hidden ace is a sniper that has no ears but can still sense people's hearts. Jigen hijacks a TV van and Fujiko checks out the gang's car engine to prepare. Lupin discusses the significance of the New Year bell being rung 108 times, namely to represent the purge of the 108 defilements, before heading inside. The sniper senses Lupin and uncovers him, however. Worse still, they actually recognise each other, Lupin identifying him as Antonio. Despite Antonio nearly killing him, Lupin's caught and interviewed, with Antonio taking the mic and demanding Jigen come forward. Watching from the van, Jigen explains to the others that they tangled about 7 years prior in New Mexico. Antonio had his eyes on the statue's diamond eyes, and they engaged in a shootout over them. It left Jigen with an injury on his arm and Antonio without ears. Lupin asks Zenigata not to be led away until the 108th bell ring. With said chime coming soon, Goemon presents a letter to the others. It contains earplugs and plans where to go next. Jigen and Goemon head to the temple's power room and everyone puts in earplugs in preparation for the 108th toll. Lupin fit a device that was set to send everyone to sleep upon the final bell. Antonio is unaffected due to a lack of ears and engages a brief shootout. Jigen and Goemon cut the power to the display case and break it open, stealing the ship. The gang escape using the TV van, but Antonio's on their trail. He spots them getting ready to shove off and opens fire. Pushing the ship into the water, Lupin and Jigen get ready for a second round with Antonio. They hit him without any injuries to themselves this time, and he falls into the water. The gang celebrate the new year as they ride into the sunrise. Well, we didn't have a Christmas episode this year, so a New Year one balances it out, I suppose. Bit of a middling episode, to be honest. Antonio kept things somewhat interesting, but it felt like there could have been more there. For all the Zenigata rage for using them, there was very little from the other Mafia members too. Next time, some all-purpose chewing gum, a Japanese World War II pilot, a battle of the duplicates, and a classical movie monster attack takes us to episode 120. Until then.